It begins with a breath of crushed rosemary. The scent is sharp, ancient, the kind that seems to unlock a memory you've never lived. In a world before painkillers, before modern kitchens or pharmacies, this single sprig could mean the difference between life and death, or between bland soup and a feast. Herbs ruled medieval life. They healed, fed, protected, and sometimes killed. Tonight, we're stepping into their secret world, a place where gardens were apothecaries, and every leaf carried a story. Picture a monastery in the 12th century. Mist clings to the stone walls, bells echo in the distance, and a monk in a coarse brown robe kneels in the dew. His name is Brother Elfric. He isn't praying, he's planting. He works in silence, pressing tiny seeds into dark soil. Around him stretch neat rows of sage, thyme, and feverfew. This is the Physics Garden, the heart of the monastery's knowledge. When the world outside was ravaged by plague and war, these quiet gardens became Europe's hidden hospitals. Here's the part that's easy to forget. Medieval medicine wasn't guesswork. It was a system. Imperfect, yes, but built on centuries of observation. The monks recorded everything: which herbs cooled a fever, which stopped bleeding, which soothed a restless mind. They didn't separate food from medicine. If it healed you, you ate it. If it fed you, it probably healed you too. The records tell us thyme cured coughs, sage sharpened memory, mint eased digestion. But behind those tidy facts lies a stranger truth. Some herbs carried power far beyond science. People whispered that rosemary placed under a pillow kept nightmares away. Garlic hung above a door repelled evil. Lovage was brewed in love potions, and wormwood, the bitter plant that would one day flavor absinthe, was said to drive out demons. Superstition and science were tangled like vines on a trellis. The same leaf that blessed you could curse you depending on who used it.
Now imagine the kitchen of a medieval manor. A woman stands over an iron cauldron, steam curling up like incense. She isn't a noble, she's the cook, but also the household's unofficial physician. In her hands, a bunch of herbs is more valuable than coin. Parsley, dill, and fennel for the stew. Yarrow and comfrey tucked aside, in case the Lord falls from his horse. Every meal doubles as treatment. Every bite, a kind of prayer. But here's where the story twists. By the 1300s, the Black Death arrives. Whole towns vanish. Doctors turn to herbs in desperation. Burning juniper to cleanse the air, rubbing crushed sage on their skin, drinking infusions of wormwood and vinegar. Nothing works. Faith in herbs begins to crack. People start blaming witches, women whose only crime was knowing which plants could ease pain. Healing turns dangerous. Knowledge becomes suspicion. One day, Brother Elfric's successors find themselves hiding their herbals under floorboards. The same plants that once saved lives now carry the scent of heresy. Centuries pass. Monasteries dissolve. The physic gardens fall silent. And with them, hundreds of years of empirical knowledge disappear into dust. Yet not everything dies. In village corners, old women keep whispering recipes for tonics and teas. A handful of sage leaves hung near the hearth, a poultice of comfrey pressed against bruises. The science survives through memory, disguised as folklore. Now fast forward to today. We spend billions on herbal supplements, pills of the same leaves monks once grew for free. Modern researchers are proving what Elfric already suspected. Rosemary truly improves memory. Thyme and garlic are natural antimicrobials. Mint calms the gut. The line between myth and medicine is blurring again, only this time in laboratories instead of cloisters. But let's step back for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine you're in that garden again. The air thick with thyme and honey. You hear bees. You hear the slow scrape of a spade. You pick a sprig of rosemary, crush it between your fingers, and breathe. It smells like the entire history of human healing. There's something universal about herbs. They bridge worlds, body and spirit, medicine and meal, past and present. They remind us that survival didn't come from invention alone. It came from observation. People watched nature and copied what worked. A leaf healed a wound? Remember that? A root stopped pain? Grow more. That's how civilization learned to live. Of course, not all stories end peacefully. One legend tells of a healer named Agnes de Barbie, tried for witchcraft in 1441. Her crime? Saving a noble's child with a poultice of mint and feverfew. When the child recovered, people called it sorcery. When another patient died, they called it proof. Herbs gave women power in a world that denied them authority. And power always frightens those who don't have it. Still, the plants endured. In cracks of castle walls, in monastery ruins, in the wild edges of fields. They waited. And when the world was ready, they returned. Today, you can walk into a grocery store and see sage, thyme, rosemary, mint, once feared, now every day. We sprinkle history over dinner without thinking twice. So what's left of their secret life? Maybe it's in the way rosemary makes you nostalgic for a place you've never been. Maybe it's in the smell of mint that wakes you up like morning light. Maybe it's in the quiet persistence of plants that outlived empires. Because no matter how far technology takes us, healing still begins in the soil. If Brother Elfric could step into a modern kitchen, he'd probably recognize more than we'd expect. He'd see jars of dried herbs lined on shelves. He'd smile, maybe even say, "The garden still lives." And maybe that's all the evidence we need that his work succeeded. Thank you for watching Ancient Ways. If stories of forgotten wisdom and living history speak to you, subscribe and join me next time, when we uncover how monks saved Europe's seeds and changed the future of food forever.